Wow.
Thank you, Father Octopus.
No comment, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
A Bakery Crime donated $29 and said, "Too busy to watch the stream, but I can't let my yearly tradition of donating to a great cause on behalf of the Portland boys die. Sorry about your president."
Thanks, Bakery Crime.
Me too.
Chaotic Toast donated $5 with no comment.
Thank you, Chaotic Toast.
Fullerine donated $75 with no comment.
Wow. We will reach out to you to see
Yeah.
if we'll pick something.
Yeah, we'll be reaching out to you, as well as Dr. Gannon, who donated $100.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Gannon.
Thank you.
And Octorock donated $50. Been feeling really charitable recently for some reason.
Well, that's because the world's on fire. What is our total now?
Oh, geez. Our total is $3,870.
Almost to $4,000. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm just going to use this thing from GameFAQs rather than going through this guy's page. I want to point out that if you go to this guy's page where he lists all these, it doesn't explain it anymore.
Okay.
So you're going to see these have headings. They're characters that he made up.
Okay.
And little intros to them.
So do we not know what the Tournament of Legends is?
All we know is this is called the Tournament of Legends RP samples. Okay. And read these as the voice it suggests. So we'll go around and do these until we get sick of it.
Okay.
I'll do the first one. This is for a character called Kaori Hayabusa. Time runs through my fingers, caresses the skin and slides into gaps between each digit, tumbles to the ground and forms a little mound. Anthill, dead, bald insects twisted into cracked spheres with jagged mandibles, clenching missing legs, beady eyes, twitching antenna, stilled. Until the first grain strikes them, pierces an exoskeleton, gaping, bloodless wound, and there is motion. The snap of chitin, the clacking of teeth piercing and spitting their like, the swaying blades of grass in a passing breeze, strokes the flesh and beats to its own drum, its own meter and rhythm. Hair twitching, flowing, where it's long enough, golden tresses, silver trim, gilded eyes of deep-set blue, misty, filled with powder, white attire, and blind naivete. No, the hair is short and black, the grass is brown, the wind is scorching and choked with dust, the garb is stained, and eyes are green, jade green, piercing in their clarity. Exoskeletons are endoskeletons, and chitin is flesh, soft and pliable, pierced by steel teeth, split by keratin, cracked nails on long slender fingers, peeled, red paint crushed between flesh and fingernail on fat stubby fingers, large belly resting open. Blood runs through my fingers.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, so that's an intro to a character?
I think that they're like things that when characters show up to fight at a tournament, I want to say.
And this was Bug.
That was Ryu like Hayabesa, which is a character from Strider, but that's
Okay, this is Canis Kill.
Mm-hmm.
The early morning air was crisp and clean. By the All-Father, he loved to run on the morning after the new fallen snow. Amber eyes took in the distant mountains far to the north, dotted here and there sparse evergreens. While Valhalla wasn't far for him, it was quite a godly distance, even for a wolf.
Twist.
Odins Wolf, or at least one of his two. His breath came in great clouds of steam in the frigid air as he continued on his way to meet his opponent. He lopped easily, as wolves do, a gait that eats the miles while conserving his energy for the upcoming battle. His ears picked up the movement of a vole or maybe a mouse under the new snow. Almost without slowing, he leapt high in the morning air and pounced atop a hapless little creature, shaking his head to rid it of the clinging snow
The Chronicles read.
he ran on, happily munching on the tasty treat. He was close. He sensed his destination further ahead and began checking his weapons. What? The elegant dwarven blade that hung securely in its shoulder scabbard gleamed in the morning sun. The runes etched into the tooth-shaped dagger exuded power and seemed to know what was to come. He thought of its making. He had been there from the beginning, finding the fallen star that had plummeted to Earth, taking it to Odin, being given leave to do with it as he will, taking it to the dwarves and watching as they shaped and hammered it into the dazzling weapon that was now his favorite. He came upon the spot of this next tussle and sat on his haunches. He sighed and shook himself. He was ready. He was ravenous. He was Odin's battle wolf. He was Frecky.
Alright.
Or was it a capital K? No, okay.
No, that's Frecky.
Frecky. Like Shecky.
Croissant. Within the darkened bowels of the warehouse stood Cross with a smirk on his face. It had been many years since he fought, but that wasn't going to stop him from redeeming his title of Illusion Knight. The polished skulls that rested on his shoulders began to emit a sickening mist that filled the warehouse. The fun now begins. Come out and play, whoever you are, and be sure not to die. That is, if you can see me. Cross gripped his shape-shifting spear and broke it down into a swarm of molecules that flew around him like a colony of bees. He lunged himself on top of the nearby boxes and began scanning the area for his prey. That's it. That's all that one has.
That's
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
He's got the title of Illusion Knight.
Illusion Knight.
So remember, this is a guy named Black Candles on GameFAQs. This is on the GameFAQ for Psychic Detective on the 3DO.
Yeah, just hiding this thing out.
For some reason. Oh, this is a long one.
Oh,
Woof. Okay.
Skip it.
It's got dialogue, which makes me want to do it, but I can also...
Hold on. We got some fan donation incentive here. I'll get you to 4K if you guys gesture dramatically once per reading with the orb.
Okay.
Alright, orb's behind you here, so...
I will do this entire thing to the orb.
If only you could put your cell phone in the orb so it was like you were reading it.
I ask myself that question every day. Alright, and this is a long one, but we're going to do it for the donation incentive. Victor slammed right through the old door and kept running through the corridors as fast as he could. Without enough lightning to show him the way to go, he was banging himself against half-open doors. This is the Take On Me video. And all the walls that stood in his way. However, he forced himself to keep going because he could hear them following him. Closing in, he was terrified of the pounding noises their footsteps made 2 stories above. I need to make it. I must. The building was old, decrepit. A plank of rotten wood was sticking out from the floor. It made him trip in the middle of his panting monologue, sending him face first into the ground. Without losing an instant, and helped by the adrenaline rush, he climbed to his feet clumsily. Time was of the essence if he wanted to stay alive, and so he tried to collect himself while hastily resuming his fight. The toll so far: 4 silver bullets inside a corpse 5 stories up, 3 rather angry werewolves howling for his life, countless scrapes and bruises from ramming pieces of furniture, walls, frames, and other parts of the edifice, a possibly broken rib from when he tried to jump down the stairs in his haste, and a recently added gash to his right cheek, a gash that was leaving a path of blood for the enraged creatures to follow. Confused by the fall, Victor had lost his bearings and ended up taking a wrong turn, only to find himself inside a wide room, possibly a studio used by former tenants.
Oh.
The few pieces of furniture left were covered by white drapes, eerily immobile and witnesses to his fear.
Wait, were the drapes immobile?
No, eerily immobile, my friend.
What?
Why are those drapes moving? Making him remember several ghost stories he had been told when he was young. He was forced back into reality by the sounds his pursuers were making with their claws. They were close now. He had no way out, no other door leading back to the corridors, no path to take him down to the streets, and from there to the safety of his car. Shuffling nervously around, he forced himself to concentrate, but he was not superhuman. He was already starting to feel tired from the escape, although not enough to dim the pain of his wounds. His hand combed his black hair back off his face, and he found the tear on it. I hope the wood on it is as rotten as the rest of this fucking place. His green eyes, it's actually just asterisks.
Yeah.
His green eyes set themselves on several wood boards nailed across the window. His last chance to make it out alive. I guess here goes nothing. Breathing deeply, Victor charged towards the window, splintering the barrier with his weight of his broad shoulders. He plummeted down for 2 stories and landed on his side, a rough lick of the asphalt tearing his sleeve apart. Aching all over, he rolled on his back and watched 3 towers of fur, muscles, fangs, and claws break through the outside walls of the 2nd story, glide past him, and cut off his way to the car. With a wild roar, the 3 werewolves leapt towards him.
That was one of the werewolves right there.
These are werewolves.
Alright, is this another long one?
I'll pass the orb. It's a relatively long. The next one after that's a little shorter.
Okay.
You can skip around until you decide. There's also, this takes up like 4 topics. So if we don't want to do the first ones, no, I mean, we could leave this and go to another whole set of these. These are just, there's infinite of these.
Oh, well, this is Bokali Mali, so how could I not read
This is Bokali Mali.
Mali? In situations like this, the sound is normally associated with the shooting of arrows, bringing to mind the vision of a muscular hero standing tall in the branches of a nearby tree, neatly picking off the 3 werewolves before they could have closed in for the kill. Bokali, Molly, and Victor are friends.
That's not even werewolves.
Yeah, I don't know. They came out of nowhere. There were bugs. Now there's werewolves.
Yeah, bees.
Okay.
Ladybug bumbles.
He could, of course, wear a hood and be immensely skilled with the bow and arrow, almost supernaturally so. He would then hop from the tree, make a polite introduction to the man he had just saved, and proceed to either team up with him to stop some immense evil from destroying the town he loved and grew up in, or fight him for absolutely no reason. There was, in fact, a man in a nearby tree. He did not wear a hood. He was impeccably dressed and groomed, from his feathered blonde hair to his Armani white tuxedo, all the way down to his impossibly well-shined shoes. This man screamed filthy, stinking rich. That's all in caps, by the way.
Filthy, stinking rich.
Yeah. He was amazingly sitting on the branch of a large redwood. Amazingly, because the branch he was sitting on was several feet below and to the left of where he was sitting. What?
Give me a break. What?
He sat calmly, paging through a small brown leather-bound book, causing the thwipping noise you heard.
Whip.
Werewolf, W-E-R. His eyes scanned the page, lips moving subconsciously until he found what he was looking for. Right, silver, of course. He rolled his eyes at his own stupidity before pocketing the miniature tome and hopping from the trees to the land between the 3 wolfmen and their hapless victim. Hello, I'm very pleased to meet you. Apparently noticing the 3 ravenous beasts for the first time. I'm terribly sorry. You go ahead. He stepped aside, allowing the wolves to pass him, giving the 3rd a friendly pat on the back on the way. No, don't mind me, I can wait.
God, do I hate anime.
Yeah. Time slowed for a moment as he pulled the cell phone that hadn't rung from his pocket and placed it to his ear without dialing. Yes, no, I'm sure he'll be... Yes, of course. He closed the phone, leaving an apprehensive sigh. He heaved the apprehensive sigh. The flow of time returned to normal, albeit at several seconds earlier than when it began just a moment ago. You get to read Dark Toucan.
That was the end of it?
Yes.
It ended with time going back 2 seconds?
Yeah, he apparently watched that whole thing happen, then went back in time. Made a phone call, and went back in time.
Oh my god. Hey,
what is this?
You can put an adjective before some of your nouns. You don't have to put 2 adjectives before all of your nouns. Like,
what?
Every single thing has that little, like, it's a brown book, and the unread cell phone, and the tall tree, and the, like...
Yeah.
Give me a break.
But I don't want it.
Dark Toucan. Two terrible steeds, dark as night and equipped with fangs more akin to a wolf than a horse, come thundering in the distance. Flames spurt from their nostrils as they tower above the local moose herds. These monsters, seeds of Cerberus who guard the netherworld, carry to battle a magnificent chariot. What hero has valor enough to tame these beasts? It is Diomocles.
Oh,
What?
It's not Dark Toucan?
No.
Diomocles?
Diomocles.
Diomocles is the name of the character?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Diomocles.
Son of Theaides, favored by the gods who control these fiends. Clad in golden armor of Hephaestus. Is it Hephaestus?
Hephaestus. Hephaestus?
He says Hephaestus.
Okay.
Diomocles of the shining helm races towards his opponent, shaking the earth as if Poseidon himself. As if Poseidon. Period. When in the presence of the photographer, the warrior halted his steeds. So he spoke, "You, who dare stand under the long-reaching shadow of my spear, surely step destruction is advancing upon you. I declare that here and now the dark death shall fall upon you, and you shall strengthen the house of Hades of horses before dawn again rises in her yellow robes." None of this is making any fucking sense.
Horses of Dawn.
I'm reading it the right way. It's just okay. And all will know of the glory of Diomocles, son of Theaides, favored by the gods. Tell me then, muses, of valiant Diomocles and his thundering stallions, who raced forth towards the enemy, thrusting his long-reaching spear at the place between the breast and the stomach, where the dark death would come most quickly. Of how the son of Theaides should tear asunder his enemy, the heroic photographer, with the scythed wheels of his vessel, as the steeds of Cerberus galloped powerfully deep into the forest.
Why is there a photographer there?
Yeah, he's somehow also a photographer.
I love that they're still using like spears and ancient books, but cell phones and like.
Why is it fucking called Dark Toucan?
I don't even know.
Well, because there was regular toucan, Nick.
Yeah,
and this is his dark mirror.
Regular toucan.
All right.
We'll do a final round.
Okay.
Yay. Thank you. I just want to take a real quick. Okay. This is under the topic Black Candies.
No, Black Candies is the guy's name.
Oh, okay. Black Candies.
The topic is Contest of Champions or whatever.
Yeah.
Tournament of Legends.
Tournament of
Let's
Legends.
go. We're gonna go to one of the other Tournament of Legends.
Okay.
Tournament of Legends Day 3.
Oh.
We're gonna jump ahead a little bit.
The tournament.
Okay. This is a shorter one.
Oh, the bold parts are the names of the users who wrote them. So these are written by multiple users.
Okay. This one's called... and this one actually has the Tournament of Legends actual website if you want to go to the Angel Fire page, but let's not do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Angel Fire still exist?
Yep.
Okay.
Very much so. Okay, this is Shop, or the person who wrote it, or it's called Shop. Since dispossession, the once magnificent church had been plagued by desolation. Aisles and chambers, which were usually so thronged, had now grown unpopulated. Some terrible fate befell the followers of the church, and forced exile upon them. A slight tremor shook the area, and suddenly a collection of bricks, which seemed as ordinary as the rest, protruded from their kin. The wall shifted, and the scarlet eyes within its shadows witnessed the motes of dust playfully dancing and whirling along the diagonal rays of colored light. The stained glass housed distorted images of the deity of deities, who called this place of worship their home, and the light which permeated through the windows still seemed on hold, an affinity to divination. Before the dust settled, his gloved hand raked back his ravenous black hair to reveal his deathly pale skin and the eyes, now burning a fiery crimson, locked onto a female avatar standing amidst the cloud of dust. The false prophet, that's all caps, unveiled himself by slowly gliding out from his nook like a dark gale.
Oh, hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Clad in abrupt mixtures of black and navy, his cape billowed in unison with his hovering stalk, even without any natural source of wind within the four walls of the cathedral. Prophet moved his lips as if he was speaking, but no sound escaped.
His name is Prophet?
Yep.
Is it spelled weird?
With it, no. Or with a P. So he actually is spelled like money.
Okay.
A brief moment later, a slight zephyr rushed the lady's face and whispered into her auditory canal. That's like somebody just taught these people about synonyms. Like, what business have you here? Flee now, or join the fate of the heretics. The prophet stood, his leather boots planted firmly in the blanket of dust, with the silent patience of the dead awaiting her pivotal response. Oof.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
All right.
I like Prophet fanfic. No, this is just characters made up by
As
people.
far as I know, these are all original characters. Cole and I couldn't find anything else about it, so...
But it sounds like they're all just written for this...
The Tournament of Legends.
Yeah, the Tournament of Legends.
Yeah.
But I like to comment that none of these sentences are fewer than 50 words long.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh boy, this one's a long one. Here we go.
Someone please write it down without an adjective.
Okay, well, how else would it be descriptive then?
Yeah. This is by Rep.
I was making fun of you, I'm making fun of people.
Light and dark, melding into a streaked explosion of violet obsidian and slate. Eyes of pearl spackled across
Violet, obsidian, and slate. Those are 3 colors.
Uh-huh. Well,
Why
it's
is
a
one
color
described the other
and
one?
2 rocks.
Yeah, it's a color and 2 rocks.
It's a flower and 2 rocks. If you really get into it. Let's see. Eyes of pearl spackled across the cloudless night sky by the hand of a Norse artist and swathed in liquid murk. The silver orb held high and safe took confidence
Orbs.
and promised salvation. Tonight, entropy would feast upon the delicacies of brazen destruction in one of its most audacious faces. That was one sentence, by the way. Indeed. That was also one sentence. He would set this, give it to motion, and bid it against the mechanized monster. His determination was absolute in its potency. He had been gone for too long, his talents for combat wasted in mindless thievery. To hell with Riot City. To hell with the Crimson Memories. To hell with it all. The Syndicate and everything associated with it, saturated with mundanity. And every passing day he could feel his zeal eking away into nothingness. Also one sentence. So is he throwing in like every trope possible?
I don't know. Where's the Syndicate? There's the Syndicate and the Heretics.
And Heretics and Monsters and Riot City.
Yeah, and 3 werewolves.
Silence, supreme in reign, broke in a heartbeat by the creamy sound of a leather glove tightening around a metal shaft. Oh boy. A lever, a throttle lever in this particular case. All right, old bird. No, that future was bleak, most severy. I don't know what that word is.
I don't think it's you.
Let me see what you can do. Now I'm just going to read it like it's a romance novel from here on out. Clunk. The solid, meaty din resonated about the cockpit.
meaty din.
And the phoenix spurred forth with renewed vigor. Her exhaust ports suddenly screamed cyan, and her streamlined nose ports terrorward. As the craft plummeted from the high altitudes of the heavens into the mesh of the city, buildings blurred past as the side panels and the front grew incandescent with friction. His brow furrowed, and the pilot banked to avoid the hazy rectangular shape of a skyscraper. Its details lost, swallowed in incredible speed. It took a little less than a minute for the freeway to appear below, and the pilot negotiated down to follow the asphalt track as it curved and weaved through the intricate bowels of the city, passing under bridges, along straits that lasted for minutes past factories, amber lights, mirrored surfaces, and shineless squares, the ailerons on either side flexing in the gloomy night airs. Why was he here? Why was he targeting the aforementioned crab-esque vehicle?
Crab-esque!
Who was
Oh!
he? Well, let me read that one again. The man furrowed his brow, dragged the vowels in awe of the flashing monitor to his left. Hello. Behind the skin lines, Jeremiah's large robot was depicted almost flawlessly on the screen, and glancing up, a faint, almost indiscernible silhouette moved through the cool airs past the cockpit window several dozen yards ahead. The feral roar of the engine lessened by an insignificant fraction as the small fighter craft prowled just within sight. A gloved fingertip hovered precariously over a certain red button on the dash.
Ooh, a certain red button.
God.
Certain
This
red
is,
button.
for people who are just joining us, hi Steve, this is on, me and Cole stumbled across in the Psychic Detectives board for GameFAQs on the 3DO. This guy has written something called the Tournament of Legends, which is some kind of collaborative fiction thing that is pretty amazing.
Hello, crabs. The first guy with the chuck, he was okay.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I really like the tone this one's taken already. I believe this is written by Super Callow, or Super Callow Teeth, or written by Super Callow and Teeth.
Or the character's name is Super Callow.
Or teeth.
Yeah, or Teeth.
Or
Is,
Teeth.
we'll see. Alright. Readers.
Oh no!
If there had been fewer plants in the early eras of the world, the vampires might have become a much stronger force.
What?
Are the vampires the heretics, or do they belong to the syndicate?
Vampires were descendants of carnivorous primates.
Okay.
More vegetation meant that it wasn't necessary for the nocturnal apes to kill animals, and enabled more sedentary living. It also created the early foundation for the doomed life which most vampires would live, one of seclusion and banishment based on a dwindling population and a misunderstood practice. Even in the late 21st century, plants were still destructive to vampires. Garlic was one of the few plants which remained a certain chemical structure from the early days of mammals. Its effect grew over the years, from a mild annoyance to a choking death due to the increasing weakness of the vampire gene. We must take a moment here to pause, both to mourn the missed opportunity of the vampire race to prosper, and to marvel at the power such trivial things may possess within them. And now we must take note of the world's irony. For even when one green shrub is the bane of a bloodsucker's existence, another leafy organism leads the way to freedom. Of course, we are speaking of the chlorophyll agent found in oak trees that, when mixed with some other rather complex enzymes and the blood of a mongoose, for reasons still unknown,
Oh my god.
will let even the most sun-shy vampire venture out into the light of day. It is with this in mind that the story turns to one Sylvan Coursing.
Sylvan Coursing?
That's our character, Silver Coursing. Okay.
I still don't know what the name of our last character
Yeah,
is.
I don't know.
Jeremiah?
It was Johnny Jetfucker.
Let me put my leather glove over your metal shaft.
let me finger your exhaust port.
Hello, crabs.
Hello, crabs. Hello, exhaust
All right,
port.
let's see this. Let's see what Mr. Coursing's gonna do here. Our subject was at this point in time sitting underneath a restaurant archway on Streak Avenue. Why, you ask? A simple answer. He was looking for lunch. He wore...
So nonchalant.
Oh, God. He wore a long-sleeved, hooded black shirt, hood currently over his long black hair, and black pants. They flared at the wrists and ankles like bell-bottoms, if you can remember that far back, faithful readers.
No.
His shoes were simple black slippers. An entire ensemble clashed terribly against his pale skin. The only color visible on him was the faint red of his lips and teeth. His teeth were red? He hid like this in the shadow of the stone overhang, watching as two girls neared on a hoverboard. If anyone were to see him, they'd likely call the authorities and report him as suspicious simply because of his race. No matter, for he didn't plan to be in that spot much longer. Please don't think him a horrible person when I tell you that he enjoyed the taste of young girls best.
Oh.
Well, hot-blooded, J&Z.
It was simply what he preferred, and nothing more. Their anguished, high-pitched screams were merely a musical accompaniment to his dinner, and he derived no sadistic pleasure from it. Well, not much. He stared straight at... God damn it.
You got the worst one.
I'm sorry.
This is really rough.
At least I just had a guy having sex with like a jet bike.
He stared straight at the board's driver. With her white hair, the girl in the back looked like the life had already been sucked out of her. And with hardly a sound, when the two girls passed him, he flew straight at the girl in front, carrying her from the board and landing with her on the opposite sidewalk. An evil grin split across his face as he prepared to take a bite from her warm pink neck. And readers, if this offends you,
That's real good.
do not simply put down the book. There is more to come.
Oh,
thank God.
If this offends you, please read on.
All right, chat. You
That
get to
hurt.
decide. Are we done, or do we have one more round in us? You guys, I'll let you decide.
Wow, yeah, no, I'm getting uncomfortable too.
Yeah, no, I'm
That's-
like sweating.
yeah,
Like
that's-
that was hard to read.
All right, can you give me my phone?
Don't worry, dear
See.
Rita.
Dear Rita, garlic is the one thing
was
that the
really-
carnivorous apes
I
can't.
was hoping it was gonna go a different direction. Like,
I liked the terrible attempt at like biochemistry at first,
like
Yeah.
oak cells
Okay.
then?
and
Just
then it was
mongoose
yeah.
blood.
Just do this for the rest of the story. God. like literally 11 hours.
No, no.
All right. I'm gonna do this one more because it's got the beginning of it is pretty good so far.
I think it's the last one in that section too, right?
No.
Oh god.
No, no.
My apologies.
No,
I
they
saw
just
the ad, but I got hopeful.
they don't like. We could do these for another 11.
I wasn't going for anything. I was just trying to get through reading it, Steve.
I keep accidentally reading pickle facts as I got my monkey's worth. I really like that phrase. I'm gonna start using it.
You need to work.
Libra, gods, why do you taunt me so? The thought crossed this lady's mind as she leaned against the walls of some abandoned church. That thought was interrupted when a stray strand of yellow hair fell in front of her eyes. Not blonde, not gold, pure yellow. A push off the wall was all she needed to right herself, and she calmly walked over to a nearby window. The reflection was a bit hazy, but it would be enough to fix her hair before anything important happened. After her task was complete, she lingered on to take a good look at herself. Her green eyes were immediately pulled to a choker hanging around her neck. Within the center lay a distinctly yellow symbol, the color perfectly matching the particular tint of her hair. Her gaze fell down to the sleeveless white shirt she was wearing. The matching bustier covering it should hold everything in place, but it was as uncomfortable as hell. A quick readjustment relieved some of the pressure on her chest. With that taken care of, she continued to her self-appraisal by looking down at her extremely short white shorts, sitting just above the white stockings hugging her legs.
Oh no.
The white boots completed the whole look and was extremely glad she chose particular outfit. At least I don't look like a total whore. I'll have to remember to thank my brothers. Brothers is capital B. A couple more steps and she went back to leaning up against the empty church. She was back to staring at her left arm, back to staring at the armband covering the single glove, back to staring at the source of her problems. Before she had put that on, she was actually a man, a member of the Brotherhood of the Sacrificial Lamb, to be precise, all caps. Libram, so these are the characters. Libram was given some free time, and he chose to enter the tourney to help hone some of his skills. The emulator he chose to equip was supposed to belong to Humar, H-U-M-A-R, but someone decided to play a prank and switched it with Hunawear? Now he was stuck in a female new man's body as he waited for his opponent to show. So it's the gender bender twisted extreme.
I think we need to stop that
yeah,
one.
this is rough.
Yeah, I think it's over. Right?
Yeah, I think that's...
It was fine when it was just werewolves and Greek gods, but now
Yeah,
it's
I think that's just not.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Well, these nonsense words are Phantasy Star online classes and races.
Are they really?
Steel Hydra.
Oh, really?
Oh, interesting. This is make it stop. We will stop it.
Yeah, that's not allowed to go anywhere else.
Yeah. However, just kidding. The but don't you want to see who the Brotherhood of the Church was? What do you guys want to do now?
Yeah, I don't know.
We could do.
Do you want to play Death Jam?
Is it? Yeah, I'll play some Death Jam.
Oh, play some Death Jam. Cool.